So we just had the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, and it was alright. Here's the thing, I was never expecting anything insanely big coming from a partner showcase, but I still feel a little let down that it was just a partner showcase to begin with. The Switch 2 is a little over 2 months old now, and for what it's worth, first 2 months have been absolutely great. We've already had 2 major first-party releases, but the problem is that after this partner showcase, the only thing I've been left thinking is, what's left? Now, it could just be me, but I feel like we have absolutely no idea what's actually going on so far in the Switch 2's life. Now, like I said, we started off with 2 insane games going on, with Mario Kart World for the launch and Donkey Kong Bananza coming out just last month. And those are 2 really big games to start off a cycle with. But it's also kind of the only games that we kind of have going on left the rest of the year. Now, I understand that Kirby Air Riders and Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year, but we don't know when. Okay, Nintendo, where is the Prime 4 release date? Where's the Prime? We've been waiting 8 years. Please, give us a release date. The only question I seem to really have is just, Nintendo, where are the games? Now, let's go back real quick to the partner showcase, and don't get me wrong, for a partner showcase, I thought it was a pretty good showing. The biggest one for me has got to be the Pac-Man World 2 remaster, plus the Plants vs. Zombies remaster, as, listen, I'm a big Plants vs. Zombies fan. Please, Popcat, what do we have to do for Garden Warfare 3? I will do anything. I beg, please. The biggest problem I have with these 2 announcements is that they're just games I'm not going to end up getting on my Switch. I will end up getting them on Steam, so I can play them through my Steam Deck and my PC at the same time, because I also don't want game key cards. Game key cards suck, Nintendo. Let's stop doing this, okay? Let's do something new. Maybe, I guess it's the publishers, but make different cartridges that aren't 64 gigs that cost a certain amount of money. Please, please, please. I want to quickly gloss over the 2 Square games as well, being Octopath Zero and The Adventures of Elliot. They look really cool. Personally, never played any Octopath games. Not a super big, insanely JRPG 2D HD. I love the art style. The art style looks great, but those games are just a little too big for me. I'm a little interested in Adventures of Elliot specifically. Octopath, not so much, but Adventure of Elliot was kind of giving some Chrono Trigger vibes, and I really was interested in that. So I might check that one out, but that's definitely going to be a game I get when it comes on sale, not straight out of the bat. But outside of that, for me personally, that's all about there was for that partner showcase. And as I just said, those aren't first-party titles by any means, and they shouldn't be. It's a partner showcase. That is what that's there for. Like I said earlier, it is pretty crazy that we're 2 months into the life cycle, and we have 2 major first-party releases. Pretty unheard of. PlayStation, take some notes. So while we're at it, let's just take a quick look at the rest of 2025 and see what we have. Okay, so we have Legends ZA coming out in October. Big fan. Super excited. Okay, don't get me wrong. Again, it's a great thing. That's one of the only games that we know that is actually coming out. Okay, at least release date. So Legends ZA coming out in October. Technically not a part of Nintendo's first-party lineup. I think so, just because this Pokemon company, they kind of just do whatever they want to do. If we go to Nintendo's website, we have Hyrule Warriors slated for winter 2025. And then we have Metroid Prime and Kirby Air Riders, just slated for 2025. Now, there is a really big point to be made that the console came out literally in the middle of the year, straight up June, right? It's hard. We have a half of a first year that we can call at least a calendar year, right? That we have to go off of. So I will give the benefit of the doubt in saying that, you know what, for what it's worth, we have 6 months to work with when it comes to actual releases. But that point would be perfectly fine if we knew what was coming in 2026. All right, let's go back to the website real quick. Let's look at this lineup. We have Rhythm Heaven slated for 2026. We have Duskbloods slated for 2026, and we have Tomodachi Life slated for 2026. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty excited for Tomodachi Life. Okay, that is one of my most anticipated games of 2026 for sure. But the problem is that we don't know when it's actually coming out. We have the year. We have the year for all these games. In fact, we have the year for this year for games. But we just don't know where they're at. We're like, where is the release dates, right? We need the actual time where it's going to go. And I feel like that's a big part of the reason why a lot of people felt really let down by that partner showcase, even if it was a partner showcase, because I think a lot of us, at the very least, were expecting a Prime 4 release date during that. At the end of it, just show us it, right? Or Kirby Air Riders release date, just anything, right? They're being so secretive about when these things are coming out. You know, we haven't had a major direct since the Switch 2 Direct, and where's it at? Now, the first year the Nintendo Switch was, honestly, probably my favorite year in gaming as a whole. they just kept releasing bangers. We had Breath of the Wild as a launch title. We had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just a month after that, which is a re-release. All right, it's a re-release. I understand. That's a re-release, but still came out. We had Splatoon 2, a sequel to one of the craziest multiplayer games that nobody expected. We had Super Mario Odyssey in October, which we haven't gotten a 3D Mario since then. We don't know when that's happening. Now, you know, Donkey Kong Bonanza more than likely was a 3D Mario title. Okay, I can understand that, but still. We don't have a 3D Mario title. Hasn't been one since 2017. Shoot, we even had ARMS come out that year. That was a whole new game. We had ARMS come out. We had Xenoblade 2, and we also have Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Even Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition came out that year. Those releases alone is more than what we know of from this year and next year combined. Nintendo, where are the games at? Right, we've just spent the past 2 years of the Switch's life cycle, the ending of it, just kind of riding on re-releases, a little bit of new things here and there, but it wasn't these grand opus kind of games, which makes sense. It was the last 2 years of the life cycle. Okay, there wasn't that many bangers to go off of, and that's understandable. But it was understandable because everybody was thinking, hey, they're gonna be on Switch too, right? And I could be getting hasty, right? And I might sound like a spoiled little brat right now, but we should not be almost 3 months into this life cycle, and we don't know what's happening by any means. Again, let me preface, Metroid Prime 4 has been one of my most anticipated games that will come out since it got announced all the way back. Okay, I am super excited for that game, but I don't know when it's coming out. And Tomodachi Life is, again, as I said earlier, just a sequel that I am so excited for. It's the perfect game to just have fun on, right? It's just fun. The problem is, again, 2026, just slated. Again, am I going to come off a little bit spoiled? Sure. I'm sure I am. I know I sound a little bit spoiled right now. But the standards for the releases have been set by Nintendo since the beginning of the Switch life cycle. The announcements, the games, the standard was set. And they're not following that standard that they set yet. We need to hear about the new Animal Crossing, all right? We need to hear about a new 2D Mario, a new 3D Mario. I need a new Pikmin game bad. A new Zelda. And I know some of you are going to be listening to this and thinking, well, Javi, that's never going to all happen in 1 year. And I understand that, okay? I do. I understand that. But the problem is that we don't know when any of those things are coming out. Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza were great starts. I've had fun on them. You know, Mario Kart World, a little iffy, all right? But video coming out on that soon. And Donkey Kong Bonanza was phenomenal. Seriously, game of the year so far for me. Could change throughout the rest of the year, but right now, game of the year for me. And in terms of, you know, first big releases for a year so far, I actually do think that, you know, it doesn't hit the same as Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey for the big 2 titles of the year, but I do think that it's a very good 2 big titles for the year. Even though we couldn't match the insane start of the console, we at least knew what was happening the rest of the year and a little bit into the next year with dates for the Switch 1. And right now with the Switch 2, it's just not doing that. And I'm left a little unsatisfied. And as we're recording this, after I finished writing this, we actually have an indie showcase coming out this week, which, you know, cool. That's great. I love indie showcases. There's some awesome games that get announced there. Still not first-party titles, right? We don't know where the first-party titles are. All right, that's my rant for now. I just want to get this quick video out of there because Nintendo, where are the games? All right. If you think I'm being a little spoiled, go ahead and tell me. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it to the chin. If you agree with me and you're wondering yourself, when are these things coming out? Where are the games? Where are the big hitters at? Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for listening to my rant today. I'll see you guys in the next video.